And welcome, guys, to take two of Take Two. I already tried recording this earlier, and I had controller problems. Anyways, this might look familiar, probably because it is. This is actually a, I guess, redo LP, or a re-LP, a repeat, maybe? Except, as you can see, it's in Japanese. This is, for those of you who haven't figured out, this is Rockman 7, otherwise known everywhere else as Mega Man 7. Why am I redoing this LP? Well, to put it frank, oh, it says Cutman 2 over there. I just noticed that. Man, Cutman 2, that'd be a sweet game. Anyways, why am I doing this? Because I recently watched my Mega Man 7 LP again, and it's alright, but I'm not quite satisfied with how, you know, my commentary came out, how I handle everything. It was back in the day when I was still, you know, doing LPs. I would sometimes go on group calls to make sure I was talking. There's supposed to be text here. Well, maybe that's only in the English version because they didn't have enough room because of all the Japanese. I don't know. But I'll try to keep my sniffling and coughing down to a minimum because I'm still getting over a cold. But anyways, I thought I could do this game a little more justice, and not just my commentary, but also play it a little better. As I found out the first time I tried recording this today, I sort of play better, but we'll see what happens. I also, I thought of doing this because just this past weekend, my brother and I, he really wanted to play Mega Man 7, and I only had the Japanese version. He went, oh, that sucks, I just can't play it. And I said, well, actually, because he didn't know this, and I didn't know this until last year, I said, actually, we could just rip the tabs out of your Super Nintendo, and then you could play Japanese games on it. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. I showed him where, and he's like, oh. And we looked at an NTSC Super Nintendo cartridge, and he saw, he's like, oh, those little things? Yeah. So, for any of you who have a North American Super Nintendo and want to make it region-free so you can play Japanese and European games on it, there's these two little tabs, plastic tabs, that you remove. Excuse me. Excuse me. All you gotta do is take a pair of pliers and wiggle it back and forth really gently. They'll just come out. And then, there you go. You've got yourself a Super Nintendo that can play European and Japanese games. Now, if you have a European console, because the way or a Japanese console, because the way our cartridges are shaped, I don't think they're already pretty much region free, but I don't think the American cartridges will fit into a Japanese or European SNES, because they have they're pretty much shaped the same way. Like, they have this arc, I think, to them, because our cartridges aren't arced. They're basically just bricks. Is what I've always seen them as. I don't know if that works, but if you get your hands on like a North American Super Nintendo and just cut those tabs out, well, there you go. You'll have a region-free Super Nintendo as well. Super Nintendo has probably the weakest region locking in it. I think Nintendo figured, well, nobody's gonna put pliers in their $200, $300 console and rip pieces out of it. So they're like, whatever. But yeah, if you look at the back of a North American Super Nintendo cartridge, you'll see these holes in the back of it. That's where the tabs fit into. And what happens if you put a Japanese cartridge in, it just won't fit because those tabs are in the Super Nintendo. So don't worry, taking these out won't wreck your Super Nintendo. It'll just let you play games not from your region. So, you still play all your old games, and then you can play some new ones. And yeah, I'm not doing these cutscenes over again, obviously, because it's all in Japanese. Even though I pretty much know what they're already saying. You can check my other LP out for that, because I'm not going to delete it now. Let me just make sure my controls are actually working this time, because they weren't before, and that's what was screwing me up. Well, they were working, they just weren't functioning properly. Like, whenever I did a slide, it would not work. If I was pressing right and slide, it would not work. It wouldn't turn me around right away. The controls were pretty stiff, and that that was my own fault because I did something wrong when mapping them. I'm using emulator again, but I do own a copy of this game, so the reason I'm using emulator is just for convenience. Excuse me. So, again, and before I get any further, I'm just going to say, I know I've been doing a lot of Mega Man. I promise this is the last Mega Man for a long time. I know some people would like to see me do 9 and 10, but I want to save those, because my brother and I have been talking about doing Mega Man's 9 and 10, because he's never beaten them, and he's not that good at 9 or 10, but he would prefer to play them with me and Corey, so we might do a Power Pals on them. I still might do my own solo LP, because funny thing is, my brother and I, we were playing this, we actually had the best commentary we've had in, like, forever, and he even said to me, he's like, why aren't we recording this? I'm like, yeah, this would be perfect for Power Pals, so, we have talked about doing, Rockman and Forte, because I do own a box copy of that, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do Freeze Man first, because I want to do as little backtracking as possible, and, as you'll see here in a moment, don't slip. In the Japanese version, they give you tips. Something I forgot to mention in my review. Which, by the way, I reviewed this game like 2-3 years ago, so I'll leave a link for that in the description. You should totally watch it. Even though it's a couple years old, I'm still proud of that review. Anyways, back to what I was saying. My brother and I were talking about doing Rockman and Forte, and the only reason I haven't considered LPing it yet is because I am not that good at it. But apparently he's beaten the whole game and gotten Bass's armor and everything, or Bass, whatever. Forte, I guess, in that game, because it's Japanese. And he's like, that'd be a fun one to play together. And I know there's the English version, for the GBA, but I don't like that version's controls that much, and it's just the smaller resolution and everything. I'm not a big fan of it. Don't get me wrong, like, it's good, but I mean, for the type of game that these Mega Man games are, with the more complex controls, I was dying for Super Nintendo controls in that game. And we have some SNES slowdown. Now, let's see, make this jump. There we go. Let this guy drop his thing. Drop your thing. Thank you. So yeah, don't worry, I'm also going to say right now, I'm not planning to redo any other LPs. This is sort of just like a one-time thing. I'm just doing it just because of 2 reasons. Okay, my slide is working good. Because I think this LP needs to be a little better, and I just feel like doing it. So I'm giving you guys the Japanese version as a treat. Anyways, here's Rush Coil. You use this to get up here to get the first secret in this stage, H. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a 100% run. I'm pretty sure I did a 100% run the first time, but just in case I didn't, this is now my 100% run. And there's virtually not many differences between the Japanese version and the English version. I'll actually find in these games there's a lot of English in them, and I don't know why Japanese people do that. Maybe it's to make it easier on the translators, I don't know. But anyways, I'm going to use Rush Coil here because I don't want to risk any jumps. This might be cheap a little bit, but whatever. And bam! There we go. Second item, Rush Search. So that's Rush Search gotten now. And it's kind of an interesting item. You can find other items with it. This is a little tough to do. So I got away from that little curling stone there. Of course, me being Canadian, the first thing I think of is curling. With that Mega Man enemy. So with this guy, I just like to stay at the back when he's creating his when he makes his icicles. Stand in front so you can dodge it like that. It's a really good, it's a really interesting, easy way to beat this guy. You just go forward a bit and then go back. And I'll take this and that E-Tank. I will take that E-Tank. Can I make it? Nope. I guess I'm using Rush Coil again. Sometimes you can make that jump and get on the ladder, but of course I didn't do it there. Alright, so let's go back to Rockbuster. It's so weird saying that, Rockbuster. because he's Rockman. Get it? And yeah, whatever. So here we are at the end of the stage. Now there's one more secret, and this is why we wanted to get Rush Search. So we bring him up right here. He'll sniff around for a bit. You got something, boy? You got something? Alright, let's see what he's found. And he got us the exit. So, by the way, you can use Rush Search pretty much anywhere. Sometimes you'll find like little Easter eggs like Game Boys and stuff. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting what he finds. Now, I'm probably just going to botch this life because I don't have a lot of energy. A lot of health, I mean. And he's a pretty tough boss. I may have to use the E-Tank. I'm hoping I don't. Shit. You gotta know when he's gonna jump. Usually he jumps when you're trying to shoot him or when you're about to shoot him. Shoot, I got caught by his ice. Gotta be careful of that. Gotta try and not get hit by his stuff. Shoot, I got hit by it there. Oh, I could have used an E-Tank there, but I didn't want to risk it. I wanted to do more damage to him than what I did. He's not too tough to beat if you know his strategy. Well, we'll see if I can do it this time. I got another life, so even if I screw this one up, I've got another chance of this. Shoot. Ah, shoot. Yeah, you don't want to get stuck by his ice. I might have to botch this one too, because I screwed up already. Whatever you do, just don't get caught by his ice attacks. If you get hit by his icicles, if anything, if you're going to get hit by something, get hit by his icicles. Because his icicles don't deal as much damage, nearly as much damage as touching him does, or as getting caught by his ice does. If you get caught by his ice, you can always wiggle out of it too, but I like to just say don't get hit. Because by the time you get close to wiggling out of it... Okay, I have enough health, so I'm going to go ahead and use the E-Tank. Because he's lost enough health that I'm confident that I could probably do it now. See, he's almost dead. There we go, he's beaten. And that's Freeze Man down. That's our first boss down, and we got all the secrets in a stage, so we don't have to come back. Now, there will be a point where I will have to do backtracking. It's inevitable. But for the first 4 bosses, I'm going to try and do as best I can without having to backtrack. So, yeah. But yeah, I like I said, I promise, once this is done, I'll go back to... You know what, I'll just say this right now, because I was talking to CJ about this earlier. Canadian Jutsu, by the way, if you haven't subbed to his new channel. After this, I'm going to go back to Ocarina of Time, because I know a lot of people like that LP, and I honestly want to finish it. I'm just afraid of the Water Temple. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching the first part of Rockman 7, and next time, we will take on Cloudman. See you then.